thinking about this the other day. Well, I think about it a lot, not just the other day, but when you're conceived in your mother's womb and you take root and you start growing, you don't know anything but that environment. That's that's all you know. That's home. That's comfortable. God has designed this process to take you out of that comfy environment, put you in something totally alien. You know, um, and so that's something that's shocking. You don't remember that, but I'm sure the baby's mind at that point, whatever it could understand about what was going on in its environment and the process and all that stuff, was scared to death. You know, what the hell's happening here? What's going on? I was all comfy. Why am I? What's all this new stuff? I don't like this temperature. Yeah, and so you had to grow up into that new paradigm. And so I think that's what God's doing with us today. He's taken us out of the comfy paradigm of this world. When we first get saved, we're shocked in a sense, in a similar sense as to what the babies experience. And everything is just new. Everything is changed. Everything is different. Um, and we have to get used to that. And God's growing us through that and developing us until the next paradigm shift, which is going to be the appearing in glory. And that's why we don't have to be afraid of all the crap that goes on around us in our communities or in our local areas, the state, the country, the nations. We don't worry about that. There's a verse that in the Psalm says, "Why do the heathen rage? Why do the people imagine a vain thing?" I don't know how much out of context this is, but that's sort of what I see going on in the world around us. And we don't have to rage or imagine a vain thing. We just trust in God. So those two concepts were the beginning of a tremendous journey into what we now know today, this continuing, growing realization. And it's not that I'm looking for anything new. Okay. It's just that I am almost daily amazed at how much more there is to discover about God's truth, about God's plan and purpose, not just for us today, but for the ages. And along the way, there have been these milestones that were tremendous in developing that understanding, the sovereignty of God, the sovereignty of grace. The thing is, the worst can happen to us. The worst. Whatever you think that might be, or even worse than what you think it might be, it doesn't matter because we know it's part of God's plan and that He's working all things together for the ultimate purpose of benefiting all of His creatures in His creation. So everything's going according to plan, even the worst that happens to us. Now, will I be able to say that when the worst happens?